We must have trust and confidence in our elections. The bill that I'm about to sign helps to achieve that goal. One thing that it does is it ensures that every eligible voter will have the opportunity to vote. One way that it achieves that is it provides even more hours of time for people to be able to go cast their vote. Let's do some comparison here, because so you can understand the magnitude of the early voting time period that voters have in the state of Texas. Texas provides 12 days of early voting, and this law even adds more hours during those early voting days. By comparison, the president's home state of Delaware provides 0 days and 0 hours of early voting. No one is saying that what happens in Delaware denies people the right to vote. Similarly, in Texas, because of the 12 days of early voting and even more hours of early voting, as well as flexibility with regard to voting on election day, it ensures that Texas provides even more opportunities for people to engage in the voting process than the president's home state of Delaware, as well as many other states across the entire country. The law does, however, make it harder for fraudulent votes to be cast. One area that makes it harder to cheat concerns mail-in ballots. Now, mail-in ballots, this is an area where both Republicans as well as Democrats agree has been the easiest way to cheat in the election process. The law that I'm about to sign fixes that problem. Another issue that this law addresses is ballot harvesting. It makes ballot harvesting a third-degree felony.
Amen.
Now, this is ballot harvesting is a serious problem in the state of Texas, and that comes from a federal district judge who was appointed to serve in Texas by President Barack Obama. That federal district judge heard a case, a trial, and during that trial there was an abundance of evidence presented, an abundance of law presented. And after all of the law and all of the evidence was presented, the judge appointed by Barack Obama wrote an opinion deciding that case. And in that opinion, that judge wrote that ballot harvesting occurs in abundance in the state of Texas, showing the challenge that it poses and showing the reason why Texas took up this cause to make sure that ballot harvesting fraud will be eliminated in the state of Texas. The bottom line of what the law does is what the members around me have said all along. The Texas law, it does make it easier than ever before for anybody to go cast a ballot. It does also, however, make sure that it is harder for people to cheat at the ballot box in Texas. I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, Speaker Dade Phelan, Senator Brian Hughes, and Representative Murr, as well as the Texas legislature for their tireless work in session after session to make sure that we got this across the finish line. We have with us, and I hope I'm getting everybody, also we have Representative Doc Anderson, Representative Cole Hefner, Representative James White, Representative Keith Bell, Representative Travis Clardy, as well as local Representative Matt Schaefer. We thank them for being here. We thank them for helping to get this bill to my desk. Now, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for coming to Tyler for this. Brian Hughes, Senator Hughes had quite a session, by the way. Senate Bill 1. Senate Bill 3, Senate Bill 8, and Senate Bill 12, was it? Yes. 4 cornerstones of conservative policies that will help make Texas stronger. Quickly about this election bill, and I want to thank Representative Murr and Senator Hughes for getting this across the finish line. You hear the media, I'm sure no one here, the left-wing media, you hear the Democrats say it's tough to vote in Texas. Well, that's just a lie. The Texas Association of Business did a poll in June, and 95% of Texans said it's easy to vote in Texas. When we passed photo voter ID in the Senate in 2011, I was one of the authors of that bill, they said the same thing about that bill. It's going to suppress votes and people won't vote. Since that bill passed, Texas has increased voter turnout more than any other state in the country. We have increased, Governor, this is amazing. We've increased turnout in the gubernatorial election from 2014 to 2018 when we ran by 76%. There were 5 million people who voted for Governor Abbott and myself. I'm talking about all voters in 2014, almost 8.5 million in 2018. You don't hear that from the left. You don't hear that from the Democrats. We've increased voter turnout in Texas by almost 40% over 10 years, and the participation by registered voters. 10 years ago, it was about 58% of all registered voters, and in this past election, it was almost 67%. So I don't want to hear this nonsense and the lies that we continually hear that it's tough to vote in Texas. Texas turns out voters because they have confidence that our elections are always going to be fair, and Senate Bill 1 will give them even more confidence. We want to see more people vote. We want to see them vote fairly, and we don't want the cheaters to undermine our elections.